People of Steeltown, it's time for your last amateur contest of the evening. It is a welterweight bout and being brought to you by Endorphins Health and Wellness Center. Making his way to the BTC cage at this time, Hudson Adair.
So here comes Hudson Adair. As you said, doesn't really call a gym his home in Sarnia, does a lot of cross training there and has gone to upstate New York training at Sub-Zero BJJ, but we've seen he's fought the best of the best. He's willing to fight anyone, especially fighting that Aiden Appel fight back in the last show in September in Niagara Falls. Extra motivated and had that extra time because this fight was supposed to happen in October, now in November, to really sharpen his skills to the fullest against this very same opponent in Peyton Garvin.
Yeah, and we're going to see that. We're going to see the benefits of that extra time to train. We're going to see the benefits of the improvements that he's felt like he's had to make to get to that next level. And, you know, the one big thing about this, you know, at the end of the day, he's had 5 fights. You know, that's a lot of experience, especially as an amateur. You know, that is something that no matter how much training Peyton Garvin does, he cannot match that. That is one factor he can't match, is that experience. Having felt everything, having gone 3 rounds, having had quick finishes, having been through tumultuous moments. That is something that he has to, that Hudson Adair has to his advantage, and that's where he is going to showcase the best of his abilities.
Plus, the amount of, you know, gyms he trains at, a lot of those guys there have competed, so you get to pick the brain of all these other fighters and see, you know, what worked for them, what didn't work, what can you put into your game plan, as once again Hudson Adair is back inside the BTC cage.
His opponent, making his way to the BTC cage, Peyton Garvin.
Well, making his way to the BTC cage for his official amateur mixed martial arts debut is Peyton Garvin, fighting out of Guelph, Ontario, training out of Guelph MMA. And, you know, that last fight was a pancration fight back in the month of February where he fell at the hands of a submission by a bulldog choke. But he's taken the time. Now the opportunity is here. He's watched a lot of tape with his football background, being a former quarterback at the University of Guelph on Hudson Adair. Now it's time to prove what you've learned and what you've put in practice. As we look here at the tail of the tape, Gino.
Yeah, and you're going to see that, you know, you're going to see that this understanding. What I'm really curious to see, someone who is making kind of a re-debut, is how much that film study has worked into his game plan. And I imagine for him that's really important, right? You're always looking for little advantages. You're looking for little telltale signs. Having that experience in watching tape, it's something different that we don't really often get from guys who are fighting for their first times or very, you know, debuters. So for him, that is already a mental edge that he has, and he's going to curate his style to those advantages that he can see.
As we look at the tail of the tape, you see Hudson Adair 4 years older than Peyton Garvin at 27 versus 23. A few inches taller for Adair. The weight was the same, but the experience factor that Hudson Adair, 5 amateur fights officially under his record, that will be a massive difference.
Yeah, and like you mentioned before, there is nothing like getting in there. The nerves, the feeling, the even, you know, taking those steps up into the cage. Those are things that benefit Hudson Adair. And one thing that is going to benefit Hudson Adair as well is he's already fought in a pro cage. He understands the dimensions. He understands, because, you know, some of them, the cages are smaller. This is the same size cage as he was in his last fight. He understands that. He's felt it. He's moved around in it. That's where he's going to shine, and he's going to showcase that experience, is where that comes into play.
Peyton Garvin.
As Chris Hardecki once again says, Peyton Garvin's name for him to make the walk. You know, being a fighter yourself, talk about, you know, the cage dynamics, where Hudson's been in a pro MMA cage before, whereas, you know, Peyton Garvin, he's been in a much smaller cage. How does that play a factor in a fight?
It's going to play a factor in a number of different ways. It's not just so much the size of it, it's the feel of the cage. It's the mat itself. It's the way the reflex of the cage itself. Some mats are more slippery. Some cages are going to be big or smaller. Your style has to change a little bit dependent. I've had fights where I remember feeling like, oh, this is quite slippery, and then other ones where I'm like, oh, this is more coarse. There's areas of the mat that are harder than others, right? So you have to identify those things. That's why one of the reasons guys go in there and kind of, get a pre-warm-up in there. It's not just to just get a warm-up, it's to experience the cage. So it's not the first time that you're in there. Now for Hudson Adair, not only has he done that, but he's actually fought in this cage before. So that is an advantage that no matter how much time he's actually been in there live, where his heart is beating out of his chest, doing this exact thing, waiting for his opponent to come in. These are invaluable experiences that benefit him, that Peyton Garvin is now looking to get when he goes in.
Well, you also see in the corner of Peyton Garvin a lot of those hitter fight club guys, and if you're going to transition from the world of Canadian university football to mixed martial arts, that Hitters Fight Club is a great gym to transition you.
Oh, and absolutely, and they're building up a really solid team. It's a team of they're really tight-knit, they're solid, they're going to get him prepared the right way for this.
And they will hopefully see some quality results, but Peyton Garvin is finally inside the BTC cage, so we are moments away from our final amateur bout of the evening.
Fight fans in attendance, this is your final amateur mixed martial arts contest of the evening. It is a welterweight bout and is brought to you by Endorphins Health and Wellness Center. Introducing first, the fighter fighting out of the blue corner. He is a kickboxer, standing 6 feet even, weighing in at 168.4 pounds. With an amateur mixed martial arts record of 3 victories, 2 defeats. One of those victories coming via knockout. He is a training nomad, and he is making his way to the cage from the Imperial City, Sarnia, Ontario. Give it up for Hudson Adair! His opponent, standing to my right, fighting out of the red corner. He is a wrestler, standing 5 feet 11 inches tall, weighing in at 168.4 pounds. Looking for his first professional victory in his second bout from the Hitters Fight Club. And fighting out of the 6, Toronto, Ontario, he is Peyton Garvin. 3 rounds of amateur mixed martial arts action. Your referee, Ivan Speck.
Ivan Svek, the referee for our final amateur bout of the evening. And here we go. Fighters touch gloves in the center of the cage as Hudson Adair throws a nice high kick. Just good timing on the takedown, double leg takedown by Peyton Garvin.
Kind of finished that with a football tackle style double.
Well, you can see how well he's already moments in transitioning nicely from football to mixed martial arts with the work at the Hitters Fight Club.
No, absolutely, and he is working. Now, right now, they're in half guard. Hudson Adair is doing that lockdown. The benefit of the lockdown is you can kind of keep that in position to start working sweeps. The only problem is right here is he's kind of stuck. So unless he's waiting for a referee stand up, but if I'm Peyton Garvin, I just keep starting to ground and pound because you're both stagnant, because Hudson Adair has kept himself trapped. So you have opportunities to work here.
And that's exactly what Peyton Garvin is trying to do. Still a little soften him up with those pitter-patter ground and pound shots. I'm sure they don't feel pitter-patter, Hudson Adair.
Especially, and you want to do them in numbers, right? Maybe 1 or 2 isn't going to, but 4, 5, 6, especially it's going to open up. It's going to force Hudson Adair to move, because if you're staying active enough, the referee is not going to stand you up. So,
well, seeing enough Ivan Svek fights, he's a fighter that, or excuse me, a referee that doesn't really like to stand fights up due to inactivity. You got to earn it, but good heavy ground and pound there to the body by Garvin.
Yeah, and he's investing in the body. He's being active everywhere. He's, he's diversifying his attack. And right now, he's using a good.
Good kickoff by Adair, but Garvin trying to start to tee off. Good Superman punch and a high kick combo. Good jab though by Garvin.
Yeah, and they're both swinging.
Yeah, and then Garvin will once again grapple and have the back take. You can hear Hudson Adair's corner telling him to use the cage to his benefit. Trying to sink down there was Adair, but that may have put him in a worse position, Gino.
Yep, no, absolutely. He's trying to go for that Kimura, so that's kind of why he's going for it. But he can use that as a sweep action. But the one thing Garvin's doing good is he's kind of keeping his weight over top. He doesn't want the arm to be separate from the body where he's going to be in a more vulnerable position.
Yeah, you can see Adair really, he's got the wrist control for this Kimura attempt he's going for, trying to posture it up. Trying to just yank up on it. He's got good positioning from a tough angle.
Yeah, the cage is actually helping Peyton Garvin here a little bit too, right? Because they're both kind of stuck in this position.
Well, Hudson's corner is telling him to get up, but I don't think they realize he's got this Kimura attempt, or trying to sink in the Kimura.
And not only is the Kimura, but he's also in kind of an off position. So Peyton Garvin's doing a good job of pushing that weight into the fence, because by doing that, he's forcing Hudson Adair to be kind of stuck there.
Oh, good back take there by Adair. They're trying to sink the rear naked choke, but we're under 10 seconds here in round one, and Peyton Garvin is saved by the bell.
Yeah, that was a really good first round. I think that otherwise, I think Peyton Garvin did win that round just by being stubborn and just sticking to him like glue. But you saw Hudson Adair starting to kind of figure this out, kind of starting to figure out, hey, I can transition, try to take the back. So that has to feel good. That has to be an encouraging sign for him going into the second round that, hey, there are going to be some opportunities here for me if I just start being active, even off my back.
Absolutely. And you know what? Good work by Adair. Nearly sunk in that rear naked choke, but it's a round that most likely goes to Peyton Garvin.
Yeah, no, absolutely. And, he had those moments, right? He, at the end of the day, initialized the takedowns. He got 2 takedowns there. One with the foot trip, one with the pickup. So for him, he's been pushing that pace forward. So definitely is a good first round for him. I'm really curious to see how Hudson Adair, with the experience, is now going to adjust.
If only Hudson Adair had maybe an extra 5 seconds, could be the end of the fight. Who knows? But give credit to Peyton Garvin. Solid first round for the former Guelph Griffin quarterback. Touch of gloves, and here we go, round 2.
Nice little uppercut.
Good right hand there by Garvin, and follows it up with a beautiful clinch and a thunderous belly-to-belly takedown. Beautiful job by Garvin.
Turn him right over, and Garvin does have double unders right here. He's trying to get another pickup. And
Garvin tried the overhead belly-to-belly, but put himself in a bad spot, but a good scramble sees Garvin in side control.
Yeah, and he did the right thing. He just stuck with it, right? He didn't accept the loss of position, and he just worked his way back on top. And now he's in a really good, stable position.
And just trying to slow things down a bit. Almost a minute gone here in round number 2.
A big key for Hudson Adair is going to have to be to move that right arm in front of Peyton Garvin's face to try to just create some space right now. Because right now he's kind of holding him down with his right arm. So he's actually, putting himself in a little bit of that issue too. Because the one thing you want to create space by holding him down. It feels conventionally like the right thing to do to avoid the ground and pound. But you've got to have to make a little bit of play here because you might be potentially down right now in this round.
Yeah, and you got to think too that Garvin's got to do something more with the position. You can't just hold Adair there. Granted, Adair has to get out of it, but you can't just lay on top of an opponent. The days of lay and praying MMA are gone.
No, definitely, and he's trying to move. He could definitely do more here, but I think it is the risk if he doesn't want Hudson Adair to keep popping up. But I do think there are opportunities here to even just throw like little subtle shots.
Looks like he's looking for an arm triangle choke. More of a smother than anything right now.
No, for sure. Hudson does get the half guard back. Not a deep half guard, but he does get a little half guard back. He's trying to use it with the butterfly here.
And now they work into half guard again.
Yeah, he's got a singular butterfly hook So he's going to try, on an ideal position, you want to try to get both. But at least having one, you can start creating some space, kind of elevate Peyton Garvin. You kind of just gave it up now.
Trying to land as much damage as he can off his back is Hudson Adair. As we've seen before, damage is everything. That's what the judges like to look at right now, so you got to be more active, and that's what Adair's doing right now off his back, throwing more punches.
Just trying anything, and that's actually not a bad idea. You know, conventionally, he wants to try to get up, but right now, you know, he understands that he's probably going to be stuck for the remainder of the round. There's not a lot of time left, but at least if I can make him pay for it.
Good posture up, ground and bound there by Garvin.
Opportunity to get up, and he does.
Good uppercut and scrambling to his feet. There's a good push kick by Adair. Superman punch, high kick, combination.
That is definitely a combination he's been working on. He's thrown that a number of times in this one.
As the horn goes to end round number 2. And a round that once again most likely goes to Peyton Garvin.
Peyton Garvin's doing so good. And part of his game plan that's working so well is understanding there's not that much time. So by being busy and working in those positions, you know, you eat up so much clock so fast because there's only 3 minutes. So for him to keep doing that and stick with that, it's benefiting. And for Hudson Adair, you're just watching that clock go down. He's got to get more active. You know, he's got to not accept being on his back. He's accepting it for way too long. He's got to start pushing. He has the ability to get back on his feet. He's done it a number of times. He's got to get going right away if he wants any chance at getting off his offense on the feet.
Yeah, he absolutely does. He's continued to let things just play out and not really have much initiative really to try to get it. I know there's some tough positions, but Hudson's got more experience. You'd think that would give him more of the advantage, Gino.
No, absolutely, and you got to get going right away, especially with the limited amount of time. If you're going to make offense off of your back, you got to make big actions because, man, winning a fight off your back is difficult. You have to really get after to get that swing. So for him, right away, if he's on his back, he's got to start moving. He's got to just not accept. You know, the minute either start a scramble, start striking off of his back, throw up submissions, just something, create some kind of action if he wants any hope on his back to either pop up or make something happen in offensive in his favor.
Especially since most of the work has been good spinning back kick though by Adair. Tries the high kick, but getting in close. Garvin will initiate a grapple, but now it's Adair that forces the takedown. Adair, good ground and pound, maybe saving everything for the third round.
And he has to, right? He's got to go for it now.
Oh, look at this pace here from Adair. Yeah. This is how the first round ended, trying to get a rear naked choke.
But now he's got a lot more time. Now he can really get after it. He's throwing that good ground and pound, and he has that arm trap, so it's helping him to get that submission. Oh!
Can he get the rear naked choke here?
Right against the fence.
It's really tight, trying to get the grip on.
The cage is actually kind of not helping him here. He needs a little bit more of a pull, but he's trying to make an adjustment there.
Oh, good job to fight the hands there by Garvin. Hard to tell from our vantage point.
He's using that body triangle to keep him there, but there is a possibility that Peyton Garvin's just going to the cage is kind of not helping either of these guys right now.
Yeah, he's trying to switch the grips, trying to find the right angle to sink this choke in.
Yep, he's trying to trap that arm now with his right leg in order to be able to have an easier access point to get that submission.
You're wrenching in hard as he can. Starting to maybe lose the position a bit is Adair.
If he does lose the position, this is where the big... Oh, he got
him! Gets the tap, does Hudson Adair. In the third round, experience pays off for the Sarnia, Ontario fighter.
And he just stuck with it. He made a decision in that third round, I got to get him back. He saw the success he had at the end of the first round. He wasn't able to get that in the second, so what he did is he went back to that. He went to the grappling. I'm going to be offensive on my grappling, and he was able to do that, and he stuck with him with a dog to a bone, and he got that submission.
Fantastic victory for Hudson Adair, moves himself to 4-2 as an amateur and saved every bit of ounce of energy for that third round and gets the third round rear naked choke submission.
It was beautiful. You know, just that experience, like you said, that experience paid off. Understanding, hey, I got to really get after that experience, and like we said, not just the experience of knowledge, but the experience of being in the cage, having more gas in the tank, despite being in compromised positions. It really paid off for him in this one.
sensational work of, and two, Gino, we were talking, rounds 1 and 2, he's put himself in some bad spots. He's kind of just staying there. But when the third round came, it was a whole different Hudson Adair. A switch flipped in him, and he's able to get that third round submission.
Yeah, and he just didn't accept. He just did not accept. He's like, I'm going after it, and I'm going to get that finish. And he did that wonderful job.
Ladies and gentlemen, your referee, Ivan Svek, calls a halt to the contest. 1 minute, 29 seconds into the third round. Your winner via rear naked choke, Sarnia's own Hudson Adair.
Ladies and gentlemen, I'm here with your winner, Hudson Adair. Hudson, we were just talking on commentary. You saved everything up until that third round, really pouring it on, fighting to get that rear naked choke, and you finally got it. Take us through the victory.
It was a little bit of an up and down. Peyton's got really good wrestling, so he was trying to use his strong suit, keep me down, weather me. Fortunately, I had the cardio to last, endurance for days, so I just kept pushing.
Well, you've done a lot of cross-training too. You went to upstate New York and mainly working at a jiu-jitsu gym. How much did that play a factor in getting the submission tonight?
Really well. I was able to utilize some of their high back control and kind of use some of that stuff to keep myself in a predominantly good position.
Well, we saw a healthy version of you, Hudson. You get your second win inside the BTC cage here in 2025. What's next for you, Hudson?
Well, there's some fights coming up along the line. I heard you guys were coming back to Sarnia. We'll see how that goes out. Otherwise, the next year is looking hot and ready.
All right, Hudson. Well, congratulations, ladies and gentlemen. Your winner, Hudson Adair.